Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at Centurion arms. In fact, we're looking at Centurion arms not just as their new product, which you see here, which is their complete modern rifle, but we're going to be looking at some of the history and some of the other really incredible products that they've had over the years. I'm particularly interested in doing this because I know the owner personally. His name is Lamont LeClaire. He's a recently retired Navy SEAL. He retired in 2015. Now, Monty had a 25-year career in the Navy, with 20 of those being with the teams themselves. He has seen operations in Iraq as well as other places around the world. And one of the interesting things about somebody like Monty is the fact that he's an operator. He's using this equipment in the real world. He could take a look at what he has currently, which is being issued to him, and see, what would be better? How can I improve upon this? How can I improve something that I would carry myself? So unlike, your average manufacturer's got some engineer sitting in an office who's trying to dream up new products, you've got somebody who's been out in the field who has the equipment that he's being issued and saying there's got to be a better way. He would carry in combat on his own rifle, which is in fact what has happened. So we'll talk a little bit more about what Monty had done. Not only was he a Navy SEAL, he also, in his later years, worked at the Naval Surface Warfare Center at Crane, Indiana. And what his job there was to do testing and to do evaluation of new products for use by the Navy SEALs. He was also the Navy's voice on small arms, anything small arms related, within SOCOM. He worked on several small arms programs for small arms as well as accessories. So this guy is somebody who not only is an operator, but he's also been involved in the development process. So we're going to talk about one of the first products that he came out with. Anybody who's familiar with the Motec backup sight, which was very common on M4s and even some of the Knights products, they're now what you would call the most durable. And in Monty's case, he preferred the sights of the MP5 or the G3 or any of the HK types. So his first product he developed in 2008 was a Diopter rear sight and front sight that could be utilized on an M4 carbine. Obviously, the Diopter rear sight could be adapted to any M4 carbine which had a front sight. Now, if you didn't have a front sight, you could adapt the other front backup sight as well. That was really his first products that he had put in. So in 2008 was the introduction of Centurion arms. The first products that went into production for the new Centurion arms was the backup sights, the C4 Diopter optic sights for the retail cost of $225. Now, these sights still to this day remain on the product list for Centurion arms. So as we said, in 2008 is when the company was formed. Now here's the big question. How does an active duty Navy SEAL who is on regular deployments handle a business? Well, fortunately, Monty has a wife, Corey, and while Monty was deployed, she would be the one who would take care of the sales, the marketing, the manufacturing, and so forth, and get the products out. In the beginning, up until recently in 2015, Monty would develop the products, and then he would have them outsourced. Well, as of 2015, he created his own business shop in Morgantown, Indiana. Now, there's where he does most all of his components now are manufactured in-house. So we're going to start talking about sort of the progression of some of his components. The second product developed by Monty was what's referred to as his C4 Rail system. I have this on an LMT rifle here. What this is a major advancement to the RIS and the RAS system. What this allows you to do is to install a rail system on there which gives you a free-floating rail. And it's also, by putting all the equipment that you want on here, you can pull down and your barrel is still completely free-floated. This is a matter of a drop-in. You don't have to modify the rifle. All you do is remove your delta ring, your snap ring, and your spring weld. And this attaches as a two-piece to the rear of the barrel nut. Then you have two bolts in the front here. You have an extremely rigid, very excellent, well-built, strong, and durable system. In fact, this is the model that he used, which is the Carbine Cut Out, which, as you can see, goes over the front sight base. This particular model is not only his number 2 selling product right now, but this is what he used on his own rifle while as a deployed SEAL. He found this, obviously, this was much better in every aspect than the RAS that he had on his M4A1. So he was able to install one of these and use it. So, again, he developed a product that he would use, and he did use, as an active duty SEAL. Which I think really gives a lot of credibility to the products that he has. There's many different versions of the C4 rail. This particular one here is a carbine length gas system, a 9-inch. You also have a 7-inch for a standard carbine, and you also have front sight cutout, which expands much further here. So it would go around the front sight base and forward, so you have more real estate on there to add accessories. This particular one is a mill standard 1913 rail. As the rail first came out, it utilized the 1913 rail. After that, it went to the key mod, which of course most of the industry went over to Keymod, and now it's manufactured in M-LOK, which is basically what the entire industry has gone to as well. So he has followed that technology and the trends throughout the industry. So this would be the C4 rail. Now, some other things about the C4 rail is manufactured from 6061 aircraft grade aluminum, and your retail prices on these are generally from $225 to $255. Again, we have several different lengths, including 7, 9, 10, 12, as well as we have the carbine cutout, and we have the extended cutout for the front sight as well. The next product is what you see mounted on this rifle here is the Cmr Rail. Now, this is very similar to that of the C4, however, it utilizes its own barrel nut. As you can see, it's monolithic. It's one piece, 6061 aircraft grade aluminum. This particular one is a Keymod. The barrel nut is put on like you would any other barrel nut, torqued down. Slides over, and you'll see that there's two engagement tabs. They go over the upper receiver. Now, these are manufactured for both the 7.62 as well as the 5.56 variations. These are also available in various lengths, including 9.5, 10.5, 13, 15. These also are $225 through $255. Depending on which models you want. These also have the carbine cutouts. These are also a little narrower as well. This happens to be the number one selling item that they have right now, is the Cmr system. Another product that Centurion has been very well known for are their barrels. Their barrels are generally 4150 chrome only vanadium, cold hammer forged. They've offered them in 16-inch. They've offered them in the short barrels as well. Not to mention what they're probably most known for is their Mark 12 or their SPR barrels, which are generally Douglas that they have turned down. Now, this particular barrel you see on here is a 16-inch mid-length gas system, which is probably, in my opinion, the best one. But they've generally had barrels that were cold hammer forged, with the exception of the barrels for the Mark 12. Very, very durable. The barrels have been available in 14.5 and 16-inch in mid-length and 14.7 in carbine length. And they've all been mil-spec 1/780 chrome-plated. If I had to say there was a product that I was most fond of from Monty over Centurion Arms is his Mark 12 Mod 1 upper receiver. Now, the rifle that you see here, the entire upper receiver is manufactured by Monty, and this particular model is U.S. government specs as a Mark 12 Mod 1, which had the mil-spec upper receiver. It had the Knights free-floating handguard, the Douglas barrel, the Knights folding back-up sights, and also the OpSync collar and muzzle brake on here. This particular one has the Allen Engineering suppressor on it as well. Monty has been one of the few companies out there that has been able to deliver a exact mil-spec Mark 12 Mod 1 upper receiver. He also has another Mark 12 upper receiver where he utilizes his own handguard as well. Now, these guns are so good that this particular model here with the U.S. government specs was provided to the U.S. Department of State, as well as the other model, Mark 12 Mod 1, that has his handguard on it, was sold to the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. Now, there's been several other contracts, for instance, the NYPD SWAT team, which utilizes Cmr rails and patrol rifles that use C4 rails, as well as several other contracts through Colt, where he has had these handguards put on as part of the requirements for that customer's firearms. The Mark 12 Mod 1 that you see here, this particular rifle is a sub-MOA, usually around about half MOA, with the Mark 262 Mod 1 ammunition that it was designed around. I have to say, this upper receiver is very, very, very well made. If anybody's out there looking for a true Mark 12 Mod 1, this is a place to go. Monty makes the exact one that you'll be looking for with all the exact parts that you would be looking for. It's pretty much a one-shot for it. For the Mark 12 upper receiver, you're looking at a total cost of around $1,100. Now, when you look at the way you order these parts, these upper receivers from Monty, you'll see that you have basically drop-down menus where you can choose what parts you want. Do you want the mil-spec parts? Do you want his parts? What kind of sights do you want? Do you not want sights? So basically, you're able to take from a menu and choose what you want. But the sight as you see, or the upper receiver as you see here, you're probably looking around $1,100. We've got you guys a discount code from Centurion Arms. We're able to save a percentage on the products, depending on what products they are, is how much you get off, which will be in our description box. And you can purchase those products directly from Centurion Arms using that code. Now, some other very interesting products that they have on it as well is the gas block, which is a low profile for $45. Now, one of the nice things that Monty does with all of his guns, he has the ability to, if you buy his parts, Monty will drill and pin your gas blocks on for you, which to me is an absolute must for anything that you do. He also has a bolt carrier group. Now, this is a standard mil-spec bolt carrier group, Carpenter 158 steel, which is mil-spec, which has a total price tag for $125. It is magnetic particle and proof tested, shot peened, and has a chrome line carrier key and inside the carrier. Now the complete rifles. We have several different ones, and what you see here is the newest rifle that we have. Centurion Arms also offers lower receivers and lower receiver assemblies. The lowers that has a B5 SOT mod on it, mil-spec receiver extension, H2 buffer, mil-spec trigger, A2 pistol grip, staked-on castle nut. Now the upper receivers, you can buy strictly stripped upper receivers, as well as upper receivers in various configurations, which you'll be able to go on his webpage and you'll be able to select the barrel, the handguard length, whether you want bolt carrier or not, or again, you have that drop-down menu, which you can do with it. This is what brings us to the new rifle that was introduced this year, which is a complete rifle. Now, the MSRP on this is $995, which for what you get here is an astronomical deal. Obviously, the scope's not included on the rifle. We have a weight of 6.1 pounds and a length of 32.5 with a collapsed stock. Okay, we're starting from the rear. We have a B5 SOT mod stock, 6-position receiver extension, standard receiver extension end plate, standard receiver extension castle nut. Lower receiver is Centurion Arms. The pistol grip we have on here is an A2 pistol grip. We have a standard safety. We have a mil-spec trigger. This one here spec'd out around 7.5 pounds. It was a very crisp break. We also have a standard bolt catch, standard magazine release button. As you can see, we have forward assist, ejection port cover. Now, the bolt carrier group is the C4 bolt carrier group, which is Carpenter 158. It's mil-spec, is magnet particle proof tested. It has a chrome-plated carrier key as well as inside of the carrier. Now, the upper receiver is a standard mil-spec Centurion Arms upper receiver. The Cmr Rail is 13 inches in length. It has a proprietary 3-prong flash suppressor, which is manufactured by Centurion Arms. The barrel that we have on this is a 16-inch cold hammer forged barrel, mid-length gas system with the Centurion Arms lightweight gas block, which is drilled and pinned in place. The barrel is chambered in 5.56 Dano, one turn and 7-inch twist. The overall fit and finish on this is what you would expect from any high-quality manufacturer. Everything is as smooth as can be. The machining is flawless. Everything is hard-coat anodized, Type 3, mil-spec flat black. What we also had done is we added a scope to this for testing. This is the new Vortex Viper PST 1:6x24. Now, this is the first time I've used any Vortex optics, so I didn't know really anything about it. So this is the first time that we took it out. Now, the scope has an MSRP of $899, but you're looking at a 1:6 power with eye relief of 3/8 of an inch, an overall length of 10.9 inches, weight of 22.7 ounces with a parallax of 100 yards. The turrets on here, as you can see, are capped for your adjustments, and you have an illuminated reticle. We also have on the end here an extended sun shield. We put that on. I haven't really noticed much of a difference with it or without it on, but then again, the day I was out, it was pretty gloomy anyways. This particular mount that's on here is also a Vortex mount. You see we have a lever on here that makes the adjustments much easier. Throw a lever. Now, as we discussed, the barrels for the standard military-grade rifles is the cold hammer-forged chrome moly vanadium barrels. The rifle barrels for the more specialized rifles, the Mark 12 and as well as the Recce, are a little bit different. The Mark 12 barrel is 18 inches in length, which is manufactured from 416R stainless steel. As I said previously, it was 18 inches, 1 7-inch twist, and it comes from the factory with the OpSync brake and collar. Now, the Recce, which is very similar, is also 416 stainless steel. It's manufactured in barrel lengths of 14.5 or 16.1 inches, which is also 1 7. That barrel is also $450 for the price tag on it. I think what we're going to do now is take this rifle to the range, and we're going to see how it shoots. I was very, very impressed with the way this rifle performed, especially for a 16-inch carbine. The ammunition that was tested was the Black Hills Mark 262 Mod 1 ammunition, which is, I think, is the finest ammunition manufactured in the industry. Utilized by SOCOM, it was developed for the SPR rifle, the Mark 12 rifle that we talked about previously. That ammunition was used, as well as we had some SIG 77 grain OTM, and we had some Black Hills 55 grain full metal jacket. The best group of the day was achieved with the Mark 262 Mod 1 at 0.80 inches. Now, 0.8 inches is, again, very respectable for a 16-inch carbine with a mil-spec trigger. I have a feeling if we would have had a match-grade trigger on here, you probably could have done even a little bit better. So the performance of the rifle was superb. And it also goes for the optics. The optics were very clear. It was a very, very easy to zero this scope because this was the first time this scope was ever used to adjust it. The day was a little bit gloomy outside, so I did like to use the illuminated reticle. I said the glass was clear. It was very, very impressive. Now, Centurion Arms has a lot of products, as we talked about. When you go through their webpage, you will see, any length you would want for, either rail system. You'll see that he also has a micro mount. Fortunately, I didn't have a micro sight to put on here. Everything I had was not particularly for this one, but we also have a mount here as well. So regardless of what products you would want, you want a complete upper, complete lower. You want a stripped upper, stripped lower. You can get that right for Centurion Arms. You want a bolt carrier group that's mil-spec. You can get that from Centurion Arms as well. You have a one-shop stop for barrels, cold hammer forged barrels, mid-length or carbine lamp gas systems. You have both types of rails. You have the CMR as well as the C4s, depending on what you want. If you want to retrofit your rifle or build a new one, you have all those options on there. And for as far as optics are concerned, most of the optics that I've used in the past have been Trijicon and SIG. This is the first time using the Vortex, but I have to say that Vortex makes an incredible optic. It's certainly one that I would recommend. We have some other Vortex ones we're going to be taking a look at as well. Along with this video, we have a new blog up on Centurion Arms. It's going to include all of our discount codes and some links to the Centurion site. You'll save 3% on complete rifles, 5% on uppers and lowers, and 10% on every other product. And there will be separate codes for each of those. Try to save you a few extra bucks on these extremely high quality products that were manufactured and designed by an operator for an operator. That link to our website will be in the description. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share.